It was a night woven from shadows and silence, a night when the wind whispered secrets through the ancient Appalachian pines. In the heart of the Cherokee lands, a chilling legend was passed down in hushed tones around crackling fires, the tale of Spearfinger. The whisper of the wind. Elder Wire, his face a roadmap of wrinkles etched by time and wisdom, would always begin the story the same way. Children, when the owls call too softly, and the river runs too still, beware. For it is then that Spearfinger walks. Spearfinger was not merely a witch, she was a specter of dread, a shapeshifting terror. Some said she appeared as a kindly old woman, her eyes twinkling with feigned warmth, her voice like a babbling brook. Others claimed she mimicked a lost hunter, his pleas for help echoing through the dense forest. But the one constant, the horrifying truth that gave her name, was the single, stone finger on her right hand, a digit impervious to blade, arrow, or spell. Her motive was ghastly, she hungered for livers. The vital organ, to her twisted mind, held the very essence of a person's spirit and life force. And once she had set her sights on a victim, escape was nearly impossible. The hunter and the shadow. Young Galal, strong and swift, had always scoffed at the old tales. He was a hunter of renown, his aim true, his heart fearless. One crisp autumn evening, tracking a particularly elusive deer, he found himself deeper in the forest than he had ever ventured. As dusk painted the sky in hues of purple and charcoal, he heard a faint, piteous cry. Following the sound, he stumbled upon an old woman, her frail body huddled against the base of an ancient oak. She shivered, her eyes wide with what appeared to be genuine fear. "Oh, young hunter," she rasped, her voice trembling, "I am lost and cold. My village is many miles from here." Galal, his hunter's instincts momentarily overridden by compassion, offered her his warmest cloak and a share of his dried venison. As she ate, her movements were oddly precise, her eyes, though seemingly weak, held an unsettling intensity. He noticed, as she reached for a piece of meat, a glint of gray on her right hand. A shiver ran down his spine. The old stories flooded his mind. A stone finger, the unmasking. He tried to subtly examine her hand, but she quickly pulled it back, a flicker of something dark crossing her face. He knew then, with a dreadful certainty, that he was in the presence of Spearfinger. His heart hammered against his ribs like a trapped bird. "Elder woman," he said, his voice steadier than he felt, "I must confess, I am weary. Perhaps we should find shelter for the night." He hoped to lead her away from his camp, to buy himself time. She smiled, a slow, predatory curving of her lips that sent a jolt of terror through him. "Indeed, young hunter, and what better shelter than your strong arms to guide me?" As she spoke, her form began to ripple, her kindly face contorting, her eyes glowing with an unnatural light. Her skin, once wrinkled, stretched taut and dark. Her limbs elongated, her back hunched, and her fingernails sharpened into cruel talons. Before his eyes, the frail old woman transformed into a towering, grotesque figure, her single stone finger glinting menacingly in the fading light. "The chase and the test of wit. Your liver will sustain me, hunter," she shrieked, her voice no longer a gentle rasp but a guttural snarl. Galal, though terrified, was a hunter of quick reflexes. He dodged her first lunge, the stone finger whistling past his ear. He ran, weaving through the trees, his knowledge of the forest his only ally. He knew he couldn't outrun her forever, and he couldn't fight her. Her stone finger was invincible. He remembered Elder Wire's other words. Spearfinger is powerful, but she is also cunning. Sometimes, a quick mind is more potent than a strong arm. He led her to a narrow crevice, a place where the earth had split long ago. It was too narrow for her transformed body to pass through easily. As she struggled, her monstrous form wedged between the rocks, Galal had an idea. The trickster's victory. He found a cluster of sharp, obsidian shards, remnants of an ancient volcanic eruption. With trembling hands, he began to scratch at the soft earth near the crevice's opening, creating a shallow pit. He then scattered the obsidian shards, sharp points facing upwards, at the bottom of the pit. "Come, hag," he taunted, his voice echoing through the darkening woods. "If you want my liver, you'll have to come and get it." Enraged, Spearfinger redoubled her efforts, her eyes burning with fury. With a final, agonizing heave, she ripped herself free from the crevice, her momentum carrying her forward. But instead of landing on solid ground, she plunged into the hidden pit. A guttural shriek tore through the night as the sharp obsidian shards pierced her vulnerable flesh. Though her stone finger remained unharmed, her other hand, and more importantly, her heart and vital organs, were susceptible. She thrashed, her monstrous form writhing in the pit, but the obsidian held her fast. The life slowly drained from her, her monstrous form gradually shrinking, returning to the semblance of a grotesque, ancient hag. The silence of the forest. As dawn painted the sky with soft, hopeful hues, Galil stood over the silent pit. Spearfinger was no more. The forest, which had held its breath through the terrifying night, seemed to exhale a collective sigh of relief. Galil returned to his village, a changed man. He no longer scoffed at the old stories, for he had faced the legend and emerged victorious, not with strength alone, but with the wisdom of his ancestors and the quickness of his mind. And so, the tale of Spearfinger became not just a warning, but a testament to the power of human ingenuity against even the most formidable of evils. What other tales of Cherokee folklore intrigue you?